Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. This is our WWE Hell in a Cell 2013 results show. Basically, let's jump right into it. My name is George Coles, and the first match of the night, they changed from Kofi Kingston, from Big E Langston versus Curtis Axel to Kofi Kingston versus Damien Sandow. The reason being is that Curtis Axel was injured. They were waiting on test results to see if he could go on Sunday. Apparently it was a freak injury that he blew out both of his hips. Get well soon, Curtis. Hopefully it's not something that could derail you. So they changed the start match, and hopefully Curtis Axel, I hope he gets healthy soon. Hope he gets, stays on track. Don't want to see a guy get injured and lose his career or job because of that. They changed the match to Sandow versus Kofi. Sandow picks up the win. A little bit surprisingly, he's been picking up more wins as of lately, building him up a little bit stronger with the Money in the Bank title. The tease all night was, would he cash in tonight? Or last night, actually. But we'll have to see. Next up, we had the Rhodes Brothers versus the Uso Brothers versus the Shield. Rhodes Brothers picked up the win, as I predicted. I did also say that this match might steal the show, and I believe it did. I think by far, this was the match of the night. Hands down, nothing else on the card was as good as this. These three teams, any combination of the three is pure magic in the ring. And wow, way to start off the show on a really high note. They set the bar really high and no one quite got to it. There were some other really good matches, but this match was the match of the night in my opinion. And the Rhodes Brothers pick up the win. I was correct on that prediction. What came up next, I don't think anybody predicted. We had The Miz come out, challenge Bray Wyatt, only to get attacked by Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, which brings out the returning Kane. He scuffles a bit with the Wyatt family, chases him out of the ring, only to be in there with Miz himself. Miz eats a chokeslam. So we see the Monster Kane come back, potentially feuding with the Wyatts, potentially feuding with Miz, potentially being the Kane character that did what he wanted when he wanted, which is always good. I think Kane's one of the true great big men in the history of the sport. Next we had another, this was an unannounced match, and I wish they could have done away with it. And it's funny because they had a great match followed by The Miz, which he's been terrible as of late, and the great Khali and Natalya in a tag team match against Fandango and Summer Rae. Luckily it wasn't that long. The dancing team of Fandango and Summer Rae win. I don't know why Kofi Kingston's on our... I'm sorry, not Kofi. Why do I keep saying Kofi instead of other people? That's just a weird mental tick I'm having right now. I don't know why someone like the Great Khali's on our pay-per-view when someone like Dolph Ziggler is relegated to the panel. I don't know. I'm dumbfounded by some of the decisions this company makes at times. This was one of those matches it was. This is easily a Superstars, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown throwaway match, as it should be. Not on the pay-per-view ever. Now next up we have Big E Langston, who laid out a challenge when he was with the panel to Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose accepts. They put on a really good match. Big E picks up the win by countout. I think the way they did it, it leaves a little bit more. So further down the line, if Dean Ambrose is the World Heavyweight Champion or Big E Langston's the World Heavyweight Champion, we see this as a World Heavyweight title feud or a WWE title feud. We could have bigger and better matches that have been built on the foundation of this match, which was really solid. I thought it was a really good match between the two. I really think that these two guys are two of the future megastars in WWE. Future's bright with guys like this that are coming up into the ranks now. going from that, we got a guy who right now is one of the hallmarks of the WWE, CM Punk versus Ryback and Paul Heyman. Ryback's dipped a little bit over the last year. I don't know if his career is going to be able to come back from it. Hope so. I don't dislike Ryback. I think he serves a purpose. There's a certain characters that you always need, and Ryback is one of those characters. He's like a Rhino, like a Goldberg. You need that unstoppable force. Unfortunately for him, CM Punk does stop him and gets to Paul Heyman, who rode a scissor lift rather awkwardly to the ring. For those of you who have ever operated one, they're kind of awkward machines to drive, but one day of training and you could drive it better than the guy that drove Paul Heyman down to the ring did. He uses the scissor lift to get on top of the cell, trying to outsmart CM Punk. Punk gets up on top of the Hell in the Cell. Heyman is frozen in fear, takes a beating first by the kendo stick, then he eats a go to sleep, which kind of was weak looking. I think CM Punk was protecting Heyman, and I think Heyman was really legitimately scared that he might fall through the cage. We've seen it before. People fall when they weren't supposed to. So a little bit of a weak go to sleep, but a great way that if this is the end of the feud, a great visual with CM Punk standing over Paul Heyman on top of the Hell in the Cell to end the feud. I picked this one right. So far I'm 2 for 2. Pretty soon it's going to go down the drain now. Next up is a match. I don't know why I didn't predict this. It just slipped my mind that it was on the card. Los Matadors versus the Real Americans. Los Matadors pick up the win. A solid match. I believe we've seen the start of a split of the Real Americans at the end where Cesaro hits Swagger, and that causes the end, basically, causes the win for the Los Matadors. I could see, especially with the way that Swagger and Zeb seem to walk away on their own without Cesaro. I could see that being the beginning of the tension point that breaks him up, Cesaro possibly going face, or at least breaking himself from this group and becoming a bigger star, because he has the star potential, and I think Jack Swagger, the ship sailed on him, I believe. I don't think he's ever going to be anything more than a mid-carder, and most of that's because of the reliability issues we have with him, with the DUIs, with the wellness issues. Unfortunately, he gets arrested in the wrong times, and it's hurt his career pretty badly. Another guy who, had some issues, but seems to have worked him out. Alberto Del Rio versus John Cena is our next match of the night. This one I got 100% wrong. I thought they were going to use this match as a way to build Alberto Del Rio even better. Unfortunately, they didn't. They used it as a way to bring Super Cena back. John Cena wins. Hopefully, John Cena either has a decent run as the World Heavyweight Champion and brings some more prestige back to the title, or loses the title quickly to Sandow, so Sandow can build off of winning it off of Cena. But we shall see. Next match of the night was our Divas title match, and this has to be a first that a Divas match went on after John Cena. I don't know the stats, but if anybody does, feel free to let me know down in the comments. We had AJ Lee defending her title against Brie Bella. What can I say? 2 in a row, I'm wrong. AJ picks up the win. I totally thought they were going to put it on Brie due to the Total Divas match or show coming up in a couple weeks. Brie and Nikki hit each other in the end again, much like I said with the Real Americans. Maybe a foreshadowing of them breaking these two apart. There's been rumors of Nikki and John Cena both turning heel together and pairing up as a couple. So we shall see. And last but not least, Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan, Hell in a Cell, with special guest referee Shawn Michaels. I thought Bryan was going to win. I thought the WWE would finally give us the payoff that we've been waiting for 3 months. They didn't pull the trigger. They kept the belt on Orton. Shawn Michaels takes a ref bump, which brings in his best friend, Triple H, to check on him. Daniel Bryan hits Triple H with a flying knee, which causes Shawn Michaels to super kick Daniel Bryan in the face, which lets Randy Orton win. People are saying that this is a Shawn Michaels heel turn. I think the way they played it, if you watch back, it was more of a reactionary thing. Like, my best friend just got kneed in the face, I have to kick this guy. If you watch, he hesitates before he counts the pin. He gives a frustrated look, and he storms off to the back. Much like, if anybody's been a fan long enough, I believe it was 96, I want to say 96, 97. I think it was actually 97. And I believe it was SummerSlam, where Shawn Michaels was a guest referee for Bret Hart versus Undertaker. He goes to hit Bret in the head with a chair, hits Taker accidentally, and then Bret pins him. He reluctantly counts a pin. Kind of got the same vibe with this. But who knows? Well, I'm sure on Monday Night Raw we'll get a better explanation and see what's going on. But basically that's what we have. I got 2 of my predictions right, 3 of them wrong. Not a good night for me, but a decent night for WWE fans, which gets me right to where we need to be. The ratings. Now, if you've seen our show for the week, we rate our shows on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. 1's a Great Khali, 2's a Heath Slater, 3's a Randy Orton, 4's a CM Punk, and 5 is Daniel Bryan. I'm giving this a 3 of Randy Orton, apropos with Randy leaving the pay-per-view as the WWE Champion. Some really good matches. The 3-way tag match I thought was excellent. Big E versus Ambrose, again, I thought it was a really good match. Orton and Bryan wasn't a bad match. I'm not disappointed with the finish. However, on the flip side, the Fandango Summer Rae versus Khali and Natalya, not great. Alberto Del Rio and Cena, I've seen these guys have much better matches, so this was a disappointment. AJ and Brie Bella is your standard Divas match. Los Matadors versus Real Americans, very middle of the road stuff there. But, you know, that's why we're giving the pay-per-view a 3. It's not great, it's not bad, right in the middle, it's a Randy Orton. But basically that's all I have to say about that. My name is George Colts, and this has been another episode of Heel Heat.